You have selling on eBay and Amazon. Okay, so you got e-commerce with physical products. And we are doing, quite well with that. Our members did, something like $2 billion in there, so I think we're doing okay. I think that's fair to say that our members are pretty awesome and absolutely rock. So we have $2 billion in sales that were done over there. We just did our first beta test of INFINii Digital. And that just basically outdid 99.9% of products out there in the digital marketing world, in the digital products world with videos and courses and so on. By the way, this is also a $68 billion industry out there, okay? So out of this little piece, which is $68 billion worth, our first beta test outdid 99.9% of the products out there, and we're not done. We're not even done with the week yet. It's really, really incredible. It's so satisfying to see that this concept of building out something and growing it and making it bigger and allowing everybody to participate in that is actually working the way that we want it to work. Okay? So who here thinks that that would be something that they would love to add to their income in the next, let's say, 2 months? Beautiful. So exciting. One of the things I really appreciate about our member base is that you guys are action takers. You guys are not like, okay, that sounds good. How can I get a better position? Or how much money can I put into this? Your question, your thing is, yes, I want to do it. So let's talk about this. What exactly is INFINii? Okay. Now, all of you have actually been participants of INFINii this whole time, but you haven't known it. Okay. INFINii is basically the system which is a platform to publish platforms. It's like this science-fi dream of, robots create robots and there's robots create products and blah, blah. It's really the digital version of that. It's a marketplace that covers the physical goods, that covers the vendor side of things, that covers the digital products. It covers all of these things at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you guys with a flowchart. And many of you are familiar with this flowchart. And those of you who are not will hopefully find this very interesting and exciting and will like it. So this right here represents the supply chain. You have a manufacturer, you have a reseller, and you have the marketplace. Okay? Reseller could be called distributor, whatever you want to call it is fine. The manufacturer creates a product for a certain price point. Okay? The reseller distributes it to different marketplaces, whether it be stores, brick and mortar stores, it could be eBay, it could be Amazon, whatever. And from the marketplace, the product goes to the end user. Okay? This is where the customer goes to actually purchase their product. Okay, now all of you are already participating in it. If you made sales on eBay in the last week, you're already participating in it. Somebody created a product, somebody distributed the product, they brought it in, they did all the logistics on it. Somebody brought it to the marketplace, in that case it would be eBay, and then a customer bought it from you. And right now all you do is you collect the profit margin between your source and your sales price, right? That's literally all you're doing right now. Now, INFINii is a process that actually handles all of these pieces internally. It brings the customers, it goes and collects the products from the vendors or the manufacturers, and it also provides a marketplace at the same time. And what's more, it manages all the marketplaces for you. So imagine you were to sell a $200 computer chair, a computer desk chair on eBay or Amazon, whatever. Right now you would sell it on eBay, you would go source it from Amazon for a lower price, or you'd go source it from another retail store for a lower price. Okay? There is a limit to that activity. As we reach 1 million members, there's going to be a limit to that. There'll be some level of saturation, there'll be some level of efficiency that will begin to break down. Now here's what INFINii does instead. INFINii says, go ahead and sell your $200 computer chair on eBay to an end customer. That is awesome. But instead of you going to Amazon and then getting that computer chair for $170 and making a $5 profit margin, instead, we will go to the manufacturer of that computer chair. Because we have such tremendous power, I mean, we literally just wrecked a store in Orlando, Florida. Because of the level of power we have on the sales side, we go to the manufacturer or we go to the licensed reseller and we say, listen, Our member just sold the chair for $200. We want to get it to them for much cheaper. We don't want them to get it for $170. We want them to get it for $140. We want them to make a much bigger profit margin. We want them to get it for $80, whatever. We are able to negotiate that down. We're able to bring that in. And instead of you selling the item on eBay and then going to a reseller or a retailer, you just go and buy it and source it from within INFINii. That essentially brings the entire supply chain into our ecosystem, allows us to generate a lot more profits for our member, a lot more profits for the company, but then it also becomes the source of a next simple idea. Who on this call right now is selling on Amazon? Beautiful. Okay, John, I just want you to look at this because I would love your feedback on all of this after we're done with this call. All right, so we got at least, I would say, 400 or 500 members selling on Amazon, if not more. That's just me guesstimating based on what I'm seeing here. Imagine this process of selling on Amazon dramatically simplified. Imagine that instead of you going out there and finding a product, okay, this is what we do right now. You find a product, you negotiate a price, you bulk purchase, you handle the logistics of bringing it in, you pack it and get it ready for the shipment, and then you send it to Amazon FBA. And hopefully, if you picked well and you did the rest of the whole process was done well, you generate profits in that process. Okay, now many of you are doing incredibly well with this, which is amazing and awesome. But there was a very simple question as we were going through this process, and as I was actually looking through all of this, one of my very obvious questions was, if we already have contact with the manufacturer and we already have the ability to negotiate with them, I can go to them and say, hey, listen, I represent $400 million worth of buying power. What can we do here? We can get rid of this entire process for our members, and we can literally bring it down to find a product, Amazon FBA, generate profits. Okay, and that is what we call INFINii Springboard. And here's how Springboard works. It's very straightforward. You log into your INFINii back office. You look at the products available there. You choose which products you believe will do really well on Amazon FBA for you. Okay, and those products have different parameters, like some products are available for $10 from our manufacturer and is selling on Amazon for $40. So your profit margin is somewhere around, you're going to make $20 if that item sells on Amazon. So you can actually, instead of going out there and negotiating a price and then having to spend a few $1,000s buying the inventory, you go into the system and you say, oh, I've identified a product that I like, that I want to participate in, but instead of spending $5,000 on it, I'm only going to spend $100 on it. You're basically hedging yourself. You're lowering your risk and you're diversifying. So instead of spending $5,000 on one product and hoping it works, you now spend $500 on 10 products instead. Basically reduces your risk, and we bring the product in, we put it on an Amazon account, and when the product sells, we pass the profits on to you after taking a little bit of fee for ourselves. Does that sound like something that would simplify this whole Amazon thing for you guys? Awesome. See, this is what is there anybody who's confused about this? Because I think this is the easiest thing in the world. I mean, it's so much easier than explaining the whole Amazon process. Awesome. And this is what we call the co-op. This is our Springboard co-ops. Okay, and here's why it's so amazing. International members can do this exactly the same way as US members can. Members who don't have a large amount of upfront money available to do this can do that very easily as well. It just solves so many problems for you guys. It also basically keeps you safer and protects you a little bit more as you go forward. Now, of course, another question that comes up is, okay, how are we going to get all these sales for these products? First point, we choose products that are already selling on Amazon. And instead of going out there and trying to brand products and build products from scratch, we go to the big names out there and say, hey, we see you have a product selling really well. We want to bring your brand name products in. And because we represent a significant amount of sales force, they are willing to let us do that. That's the first part. Okay, that's awesome. The second reason why this is able to do so well is we have the ability to not only negotiate good rates, but also make sure that those are fulfilled. We're able to bring those in. We're able to put them on Amazon. We have a very good team that has done this for a long period of time and have done that very profitably. That makes it very strong. But also, it removes a lot of the risk from our member of what if the product doesn't sell. Because what happens with the products is once we have put them in the co-op, once the co-op has been filled and the product is brought in, we have tens of thousands of people selling on eBay at the same time, and they are selling these products at a significant profit margin too. So they are actually told, hey guys, here are the products you want to list on eBay because these are the products that are selling well. We have already researched them. Go sell them on eBay, and they're sourced from our Amazon listings instead. So we have now completed the whole chain that we had set out to complete way back. We own the marketplace, and when we don't own the marketplace, we facilitate the marketplace in case of Amazon or eBay. We own the product that's coming from the manufacturer. We own the reselling process along the way. We are the resellers of the product. And what's better is all the traffic that is being sent to the marketplace is also coming internally from our system. It's coming from our eBay sellers, it's coming from our Bonanza sellers, it's coming from our Shopify sellers. Basically, this entire supply chain now exists within our ecosystem. Does anybody think that that's kind of a game changer in not just the way the DSD behaves, but also in the way that any company out there behaves right now? This is a pretty unique concept. There are very few companies doing this right now. And nobody who is doing this right now with the numbers that we're doing, at the scale that we're doing it, and with the ease of use that we're doing it with. Awesome. Okay, so what does this all have to do with you though? At the end of the day, what do you get and how do you take advantage of this whole process and how do you make this stronger? How do you participate in it? Here's how. One of the things that we recognize about DSD as a pretty exciting thing out there, but at the same time we recognize there was one point of failure, which was how do we reward somebody for referring a user who generates a tremendous income from this? Right? The affiliate program, the way it is right now, really does not properly reward members when they refer a user who actually participates in this and does really well with it. Right? Now, because we are doing all of this within our ecosystem, we have the ability to reward it. We actually have a chance to reward you. So who here on this call right now has referred at least one member in DSD? Who here has referred at least one member? Awesome. Look at that. Beautiful. So all of you who referred a member, if your member sold this $200 computer chair, you would actually now earn some business volume for this. You would actually earn some points for this. Points that would directly then convert into your income in the new compensation plan that INFINii has. Okay? So it just completely changes the equation of how things are done. You're no longer just thinking about how do I get as many people in as possible. You're thinking about how do I bring in the people who are going to work this, who are going to work hard at this, and they're going to generate tremendous, tremendous income. Let me give you guys a very interesting statistic. Of our Amazon sellers, about 38% of them generate between 10,000 and 100,000 in sales every year. Okay, that's a very strong number. That's a very, very strong number. I don't think there's a company out there. John, do you know of a network marketing company that would say, we have our subset of users generate that income per annum, to generate that much in sales per annum without recruitment? You would never find one. Okay, this is just Amazon seller.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, these members, when they're doing this, would now contribute, because they're part of this entire ecosystem, would contribute to your BB. If you referred a member like that who was generating sales like that, you would now actually get some BB from it. By the way, we have another 22% that are generating between 100K and 200K per month, per year in sales, not month, per month, per year in sales. Obviously, we also have members who are doing more than that per month in sales, but it's a very, very strong number, and now you actually get to be rewarded on that entire process. Okay, so that's what we're going to go over with INFINii a little bit, and how this new compensation structure works. And because we now have a true ecosystem, instead of just a pipe dream of saying, hey guys, go out there and recruit and someday you'll make money, which I don't know how John managed to do it and make money with it, but for some reason he was able to. What we have now is the idea, if you go out and build a team, and you actually do what you've been doing the whole time, if you're making sales on Amazon, if you're making sales on eBay, if you're sourcing products, if you're buying products, you're doing all of these things that you do together already anyway, if you just keep doing that, you actually have a chance, a shot at real retirement, at real ability to say, oh, I can actually step away from my business for a while and still keep earning from it. So does anybody like the prospect of 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now being able to really take the, pedal off the gas and say, all right, it's time, I can actually relax a little bit. I can take some time off with my family, or if you're in a situation like I am sometimes, oh, I need to go take care of something with my family, I must leave, that you guys will actually be able to do so. Beautiful. Now remember one more thing. Remember the whole thing I said about INFINii Digital and what's happening with the digital side of things? That is counted in here as well. If you create products and you launch products and people are buying your products, or we generate sales for you, whatever way it goes, again, all of that generates BB in the system as well. So anybody here who wants to create and sell digital products, anybody here who wants to buy and sell physical products at a profit, anybody here who has a referral source, who has product manufacturers that they want to refer into the system, all of you now contribute to the BB. So what I would like to do really quick is change gears. I'd like to have John come in here. John, if you could walk us through the compensation plan and some of the unique twists in there that allow our members to really succeed now. That would be, I think, very heartily appreciated by everyone. So I'm going to pass the screen on to you.
Thank you very much. I've got the new deck up right now, so we'll make that full screen. I'm ready anytime.
Alrighty, then you are the presenter.
Please let me know when you can see this.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so I'll blast through this fairly quickly because we're going to have a copy of this available for everybody. In addition to this, Hitesh is going to put this in a very specialized version on a dedicated site for you to access anytime you want. And then likewise, if you are in a situation where you are either not interested in grabbing local Wi-Fi or just can't do that, we'll also have a PDF version for tablets. So it'll be very easy to access this information anytime you want, wherever you want. In addition to that, we will also have Ken and maybe one or two others walk through this plan in a very detailed fashion and have that recorded for you, so you can go back and use that as a bit of a guide, really understanding the intricacies of the mathematics of this plan. And so let's dive right into this. There's 7 unique ways to earn. Now we're just talking about the compensation plan exclusively. We're actually calling it a rewards plan. You'll hear that terminology used quite often. So if you want to be consistent, just refer to it as the INFINii rewards plan. And the plan essentially breaks down into 2 basic components. And the first is what we call either a dual team or a binary. The prefix bi simply means 2. So you can see in this case, obviously on the left-hand side of your screen, there's yourself, and you have a left side and a right side to your business. And as that business starts to grow out, for example, if you're just looking at a binary view, you wouldn't really know if you personally sponsored all 4, Mark, Beth, Susan, and Ryan. However, when you look at the second way you're going to earn within this plan on the unilevel, you can see that all 4 of those individuals are on your very first loan, and you did indeed personally enroll all 4 of them into the INFINii business program. So from there, there's just a slide that helps you differentiate this, what makes this particular plan unique compared to many compensation plans within the global network marketing industry. Perhaps for many of you as affiliate marketers or e-commerce experts, you haven't spent a lot of time in the network marketing world. Just a very, very simple crash course. Of course, old companies like Amway, Avon, Herbalife, and Shaklee have been around for an awful long time. And the industry has evolved a little bit since that time as far as the efficiency with which people pay. but the basic strategies and you know, the science of the industry hasn't really evolved a whole heck of a lot. And you get you'll probably get the gist of that when you listen to Kevin and Nitesh talk. It is a little bit of a dinosaur that really does need a bit of house cleaning. And the changes that are made to this particular rewards plan are designed to help do that. You can see the little red line underneath the 20,000 BV on the left-hand side of your business. So if this was yours and you were in a typical binary-based network marketing program, that red line would indicate the maximum with which you're earning in that plan. So obviously 20,000 business volume on the left side of your business and 20,000 business volume on the right side of your business, which means there's 205,000 business volume that, of course, a company would say you're going to get eventually when you balance your business out, but at this particular point in time, you have no access to it and you get no benefit from it. Now, what's going to be different about this particular plan is
you put that in layman's term. Can you put that in layman's term? To simply say this, most companies scam you when they sell you this dream, where what they say is, I mean, it's true. What they'll say is, hey guys, we're going to make all this money in this really, really awesome binary plan of some sort, or dual team plan. Dual team is actually the more PC version of binary. And the reality is it doesn't actually work that way because there are all sorts of hidden loopholes in there. But it does create really strong growth. It does create a very strong incentive. So our idea is, how can we take that incentive and provide that incentive, but remove the loopholes that allow these companies to really kind of scam people out of their money? And that's just the, that's the layman's version of it. Usually I don't get to be the layman's version. Usually people have to interrupt me and be like, so, to explain what the Indian robot speak just said, and then they give their, human version of it. But I get to tell you guys, basically, we're removing the loopholes from this entire process. Most of you, the way you've already been building your business in DSD, when it comes to the affiliate side, if you just did what you were doing already, you will see, like, again, this is based on my tests, based on my models, you will see about 3 to 5 times the income from this model than you would have seen in the existing pure DSD model. Just because the way that the BV is calculated, just because the fact that you have an unlimited depth here, and because of the fact that we give you the incentive of a dual team structure or a binary structure where you have unlimited depth and you earn at unlimited depth, but we removed all the loopholes that get people, that
that's actually, that's worth repeating a second time, Hitesh. If you did nothing other than what you're already doing right now, you would receive an increase in earnings through this rewards plan between 300% and 500%. Now, the reason that that is so important is that the individuals that are part of your existing business are also going to receive an increase between 300% and 500%. And it would be fair to assume that there's a certain percent of individuals within your business right now where that is going to drive some behavior. That's going to drive them to get out and actually be more actively involved in the rewards plan, which is going to do what to your business? It's going to blow it up in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Keep going, sorry.
Okay, no, it's no trouble at all. Your PET, you can see in the center of this screen, PET is an acronym for Personal Enrollment Tree. And essentially what this means is, in the past slide, you saw Susan and you saw Ryan, Beth, and Mark. Well, those 4 individuals would represent the foundation of your personal enrollment tree because you sponsored all 4 of them. Now, as they continue to build out their business, all of that new growth, all of that new activity, and all those new members are part of your PET, okay? So this is how we're calculating rank. And the reason that this is a little bit different is it really makes no difference to you whether those individuals are on the left side of your business or on the right side of your business. You have an opportunity to receive benefit from all of that. So the $225,000 through our multiple bonuses, you can get paid on that even though you only have 20,000 volume on the other side of your business. The other thing that's important for you to understand is there's a 1-to-1 point-to-dollar ratio. So the math is very, very simple to work out and to continue to follow in this plan. So how business volume accrues in your business, there's actually, well, there's 3 significant ways, but then there's a 4th as well that I'll share with you in just a moment. So if you take a look at Pam, for example, her team now consists of Sue and Mark, which you met earlier. Sue is a Surge member using the Surge platform, which we'll learn more about very, very soon. And she's generating 150 BV into Pam's business. Mark's generating 400 in Pam's business. In addition to that, though, any sort of e-commerce activities, any sort of retail activities, any marketplace activities, in addition to that, any customer activities doing any of these things will also generate volume for you. So as you learn more about the marketplace, as you learn more about the digital marketplace, and as you continue to learn more about how the vendors can get involved in this program, and then how the vendors can even start pulling their customers into using the marketplace, there are some very unique strategies that I know you haven't heard of all of them yet, but you're going to be extraordinarily excited when you do, because there's going to be an awful lot of elements that attract customers to this platform as well, and all of that activity is going to drive business into your, or volume into your business. Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, actually, let me do a very quick experiment right now. Because one of the questions, as we've been discussing this over time, one of the questions that John has asked and other people have asked is, well, we just don't know what that business volume looks like. Because in every MLM, okay, if they have a BD system, the BD is literally, you know, how many people you recruit. It's kind of based on that. And we've talked a lot about how our system is unique. Our model is very different. So here's what I would like you guys to do. Just take a rough estimate of how much you've done in sales over the last month, every single one of you. Okay, so imagine you've done, you know, $1,000 in sales over the last month. I know most of you have done a lot more than that. Take 2% of that and just put that figure in the comments section right now. Just say, for example, if you had $1,000 in sales total that you've done, just say 20 BV in the comment box. If you had 10,000 sales, you'd say 200 BV. Just put that BV figure in the chat box right there. John, I would like you to take a look at that.
That's a lot of math we're going to have to do.
Well, it's not just math you have to do. The point is, you can see people in there with 3,000 BV, 4,000 BV. That's 2% of the sales they've done. The point here is that this is no longer the model where you recruit somebody and then your business volume is dependent on how much they recruit and how much you recruit and keep recruiting. Because we know that there are a finite number of people in the world at a given point in time. They're relatively increasing, but in general, there's a finite number of people. So if you build a business around the number of people, it's a failing proposition. But you know, something that is not static is the economic output of each person. If you build a business around the economic output of an entire population, now there is no upper cap on it. It can keep expanding endlessly, and it can expand infinitely. That's the whole idea behind this whole system. So if you just look at those numbers, yes, go ahead,
especially when the $11 trillion that we talk about as global e-commerce from last year is only representing 1 or 2% of all retail activity. So you know, you add back to the equation, and we're on trend for it's an absolutely remarkable. Well, it's an incredible trend that we're going to continue to be able to capitalize for years and years and years to come.
So the point here is, guys, that you will actually now be able to capitalize on the BD generated in the entire system through this process. And the whole question now is, okay, that sounds great in theory, but how do I first begin to generate profits from the system, right? I mean, hopefully that's the question you all ask. You're all business people now. So the question you should be asking is, okay, that sounds great on paper, and we have, you know, a really nice sounding person from Canada, in this case John, and a really somewhat shady sounding Indian. How does this actually make me money? What does this really mean? So that's the part we're now getting to. This is specifically what you have to do to actually generate an income. Hopefully I don't sound shady.
So I'm going to share.
But if I do, I'll just go ahead.
Not at all. I'm going to share some insights as to how I generated the multiple seven figures that I did, and continue to in a very passive business myself. It really boiled down to leverage, and there's two types of leverage. You can either leverage yours or other people's money, or you can also leverage yours or other people's time. And that's what I focused on doing when I was building my business. My focus was always to break down my business into its simplest form and teach a very simple but easily replicated business model. And I based that on 5 hours of work every week. People needed to invest in their businesses. And what started to happen is I started to see exponential growth. Now that you've seen Nitesh's example of how easy it is to generate business volume within this platform, really the way that you're going to put your business into overdrive really would be to focus on the exponential growth of leveraging other people's time as well. And what I mean by that is we know that personally through our activities in the INFINii platform, we can generate business volume. So the only thing better than that is to have tens, hundreds, or thousands of others within your business also generating business volume. So the first step in doing that really is something that's called a beginner bonus, and we'll get into the details of these in just about 30 seconds. Beginner bonus, and then from that point we really want to make sure that by the way, beginner bonus, you qualify for that simply by inviting 2 friends to join you in this rewards plan. And then as we help them do the same, by focusing on very simple elements of this plan, you eventually and quickly become manager bonus qualified, and then if you can do director rank within 90 days, you'll get a $20,000 bonus as well. So let's dive right into what these things are. Fast Start bonus is very simple. It's very typical in a multi-level style program, especially a newer program, where you're generating a very fast 15% from the platform price that your member first joins when they first sign up. It's simply designed to throw some quick dollars into your pocket right away, then that you can reinvest for a Springboard product or something else available in the marketplace or digital platform and so on. Second is the beginner bonus we were just talking about. You can earn up to $1,800. Again, this number is very specific. The average individual in their network marketing career earns between $300, $400, $500 US in their entire network marketing lifetime. So the idea was to create a beginner bonus with one simple requirement. Add an individual to the left side of your business and to the right side of your business and have them maintain one of the 3 platforms that INFINii offers. If you can do just that, earn your entire beginner bonus that ranges all the way up to $1,800 just by doing that. Okay. Now what that does though, it gives you a foundation on which to build. So there becomes a language that's easy not only for you, but then for others to internalize and then start to share. And this is what drives behaviors that are ultimately going to create that exponential growth to your team that you want. So your beginner bonus again happens by referring simply to individuals, and then there are there's only one qualifier, 2 friends, but there's 2 caps on this beginner bonus. The first is personal volume cap. In other words, you have the opportunity to earn 1.5 times your total activity, and you just did an experiment there of how much activity you're generating in your business on a monthly basis. Or the other cap is 1.5 times your entire group or PET volume. Now, whichever of those 2 caps is lower is the one that we actually use, and the reason that we're picking the lower cap, of course, is to protect the integrity of the beginner bonus. So the way the bonus works is we're actually taking 5% of all the money that's in the rewards plan. And there's a lot of money in the rewards plan, and that gets pooled. So this is why we call the beginner bonus a pool. That 5% that gets divided amongst the entire number of members that qualify, one on the left and one on the right. So that very simple action starts to create an income source that can continue for you. Now, we've obviously established everyone on the call as an action taker. Believe it or not, and this may come as a surprise to you, there are many people in the network marketing universe that are not action takers. And it's not always because they're lazy, and it's not always because they're inept. Sometimes it's because they're scared. There's a lot of people that in all seriousness, there's a lot of people in the American economy and the Canadian economy and many other economies around the world that are really in trouble. And they really need to do something different. Or they really need to add to their bottom line. But this makes them feel like a fish out of water. The idea of opening their mouth and selling a bottle of vitamins or selling a can of juice to their friends makes them feel extraordinarily uncomfortable. And this is a very significant strategic advantage that you have as an INFINii member, because you are able to represent a product that by product alone has the ability to create profit for the average person. And I'm referring again to the Springboard campaign, where individuals can simply purchase a seat in the Springboard and earn accordingly. The only way to match that in network marketing is to buy 10 cans of juice and then to go sell that to people you know, or worse, go sell that to strangers. And 85% of the marketplace is either very uncomfortable in the sales role or just completely disinterested being in the sales role. And you can imagine 85% being a very significant number. There's a lot that one would have to do to fight against those odds to create the kind of results that I was able to create in my network marketing career. In your case, you're able to represent a product that simply by purchasing a seat and being passively involved, you're able to turn a profit. And that's extremely unique in network marketing. So with that, I want to help you understand that if there are individuals that are in network marketing that are very uncomfortable when they first get started or scared of their shadow when they first get started, by simply sponsoring 2 people into the program, one on the left and one on the right, if they did nothing the following month, because they're qualified, the beginner bonus pool would continue to pay them money month after month after month. So it's important for you to understand the beginner bonus is for beginners. Many of you are going to shoot right past that beginner bonus immediately. And that will take you next to the manager bonus. And you can see from these 3 amounts, these mirror the platform amounts, Prime, Surge, and Excel, that you'll learn more about shortly. But this, again, is another opportunity for you to help put yourself into positive cash at a very, very early stage in your business. And that, for new people, really helps them drive forward because their business is no longer costing them money, it's making them money. And then that brings us to the dual team. And in the dual team, you have something that's rather unique. You have an ability to earn up to 20% on the lesser side of your business, and that can be up to $50,000 every single week. So the dual is a very significant part of this rewards plan. So I'm going to show you just really quickly how this dual team works. Hitesh, is there any comments that you have on anything we've discussed in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of comments to try and simplify the process a little bit, because there are a lot of pieces that we're going to talk about here that I think kind of take away from the most simple aspect of it, and I want to focus down on that a little bit. So if we take a brief break from this, just so I can actually clarify this, just so I can make people understand this one part a little bit better. So I'm going to grab the screen for just a second, John. Okay, keep it right where you are because you're going to cut me from there. So guys, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful. So any business in the world has 2 components to it. Okay, the first question is always what is offered to the customer. Okay, the end customer, the pure consumer. And then the next question is what is the incentive to bring in more customers, right? Every business in the world has to deal with this. Every business in the world, doesn't matter who they are. That's why they all have some kind of a program like, oh, share about us with 3 people and get our next thing free, or get a $10 haircut for free, or whatever. You know, every salon, every grocery store, everybody has that main question in their mind. How can I incentivize these customers to bring in more? It's the exact same question that we have to. Now, unfortunately, the way MLM works, okay, and that's the dangerous part of MLM. The way MLM companies work is what they offer to customers is the ability to bring in more customers. They basically say, hey, if you refer more customers, we'll give you a bunch of money. That is not a sufficient thing to call a product. It is not a sufficient clause for somebody to do business with you. Okay? So let me put this in the picture of why do we need this, that you're doing something like this online, okay? And she might not understand that you're on the internet. So you don't need to deal with any of that stuff when you're purely focusing on this. Now comes the second piece. How do we incentivize the affiliate or the partner to actually bring more customers in here? What do you get to actually share this out there? And I'll actually explain this in 2 different pieces. The first piece is the very straightforward answer, which is you generate an income based on the total volume of your team. Whoop-de-doo, that's awesome. What does it do for me as a pure customer? I don't intend on ever recruiting. I don't intend on ever referring members. What will that actually do for me? Why is this important? Here's why. Note that the Springboard and the deals that we're able to negotiate and what we're able to do on getting really strong, manufacturer discounts and going to brand names like Marvel or going to brand names like Baby Einstein and so on, and making a deal with them is actually predicated upon how much user base we actually have. When we go to them and say we command 12% a very significant deal, that's a pretty big deal to go to somebody and be able to say that. If we go to them and say we control 1% of the market, yay, okay, come back to us when you're worth something. That's basically what happens. So this is actually equally important for the customers because we are able to get the strongest deals and offer the most attractive co-ops when we are able to get the best deals, which is dependent on how much user base we actually have. Does that make sense? It's the same reason why Walmart is able to get some really great deals on certain products. They're able to do that because they command significant market share. And they try to offer very strong incentives to bring customers in. Okay? It's the same thing happening over here. Why is it important for you to even try and understand this compensation plan and the pieces in here? It's literally because of this. It's to one, it'll help you generate more income for you, but it actually makes our Springboard co-op stronger. It actually makes the whole INFINii commerce system much stronger. And for affiliates themselves, which there are tons of them on this call, for the affiliates on here themselves, you need to ask the question, is it really worth my time to even try to build my business on the partner side, or should I just be focusing on doing e-commerce all the time? In many cases with DSD currently, you could just focus on e-commerce and do really well. Our concept is, let's make it so rewarding to build the affiliate side and build the partner side that you're able to do both, that it actually pays you to do both successfully. And the way we have done that is by bringing in the entire ecosystem, the entire activity of your team into the business volume, into generating an income for you. So far of what John was explaining, there are two pieces that I wanted to focus on. One, how quickly does it take you to get to break even? Earlier in DSD, which is the highest paying compensation plan of its kind on an affiliate structure, it pays 50% on level 1, it takes you 3 sales before you even break even. In here, we're talking about 2 sales and you get to break even. And those 2 sales alone are sufficient for you to develop a very, very strong income. In many cases, when you scale up your e-commerce business, you will want more than one person to work with anyway. You will want 2 or 3 people. So you can focus on different platforms. You can work together as a team. That's the whole concept here. Just work together with 2 more people as a team. This is not the idea of recruiting a whole lot. And the same concept also applies to the affiliate side. In DSD right now, if you want to make a 6-figure income on the affiliate program alone, you will have to recruit 500 or more people. And on INFINIi's side, the idea is you should be able to generate that without focusing on recruitment like that, without recruiting 500 people in there. So as you are listening to John describe this, keep in mind that although some terms will sound like typical MLM terms, it's because those incentives are very strong. There is a reason why MLM as an industry still exists, even though the reason why it exists is the incentives created are very, very strong. And we have to find a way to capture those incentives. So those terminologies will come in times, but at the same time, we have to be able to take out all the loopholes and really, really make sure that the partners are making money from it. So John, if you continue now, hopefully people will be looking at it more as, okay, so how do I specifically do this? How does this specifically affect me? And you can kind of address that as you go along.
Certainly. The other thing is that, of course, as we continue to make more and more attractive benefits for customers, you can imagine we start approaching 500,000, 1 million, and more customers into this model. Again, that really helps to support what Hitesh was just sharing with you in regards to why individuals, why corporations would be very excited to work with us. So it really is an important thing to do, and the larger that our ecosystem gets, the more that you benefit regardless of how you choose to participate under the INFINii umbrella. So this model that we're going to provide for you, we couple with that the fact that now we're able to actually endorse a product that makes you money, that doesn't just cost you money. That's going to be a real game changer for you. So focus on becoming beginner bonus qualified first is critically important. A, because it's very simple. B, because it's very, very easy, because it's very easy to duplicate. Okay? So you can see in this particular case, even with a very small business, in this case Pam has become a national manager, She's earning 10% on the lesser side of her business. Remember earlier we said she can earn up to 20%. This is how this happens. So as her business continues to grow, Pam in this case sponsors 2 more people. And as that business continues to grow now in the director family, there's a manager family of ranks, there's a director family of ranks, and then finally there's an ambassador family of ranks. And as she continues to have her business push forward, and her volume continues to increase, now that she's into the ambassador, she's earning 20%. In this case, she's earning almost $50,000 for this particular week from her business. So that leads us to the 5th way that we earn, and this is running parallel to the dual team. And this is the INFINII Pay, where you can generate 5% on all the business generated within your PET or your unit-level program to unlimited depth. And this is really a game-changing part of the rewards plan. It's very, extremely unusual to see numbers like this, and I'll show you how they work. So you can see in this particular case, there's the 4 people that Pam has personally enrolled into the INFINII program, and then they're enrolling their friends, and teams continue to grow. And of course, what's happening here is Pam is personally sponsoring 4 individuals. There are their names. Sam's entire organization was just under 20,000 business volume times 5%. So Pam is generating $980 for that week from Sam. Similar with Sue's organization, she's generating just over $1,000 for the week from Sue. Mark, again, just over $1,000. And then finally, a little bit less, $600 from the final person that she's personally sponsored. But look what happened over the course of the month. She's generating almost $15,000 from just personally sponsoring 4 individuals, and she's only at the rank of executive director, which would be considered a very much an intermediate rank in this rewards plan. As this continues to blow out, the INFINII Pay can pay up to $240,000 on each personally sponsored line of lineage. And I know that some of you have sponsored 200 and 300 and more people into the DS Domination plan. So it really just boggles the mind of this business that they chose to. The 6th way we earn is a global bonus program. And the reason this is important is some of you may choose to never leave your home community, your hometown, in building your business, but this is going to give you an opportunity to participate in the global success of the company. So as Brazil opens, for example, it just explodes on the marketplace and is responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in total gross sales, that becomes part of the rewards plan, and you start earning from that because you're earning from the global bonus program. So again, you can see there's the director family, and then there's the ambassador family. Here's the best part of this plan, and it speaks really to the generosity of the plan. Of the 4% global bonus program, you're able to access a full 2 or 50% of it at the rank of director. And you'll see in just a moment, the rank of director, again, is a beginner intermediate rank. And the last is the elevation rank bonuses. And that's not a misprint. That's up to $10 million in cumulative rank elevation bonuses. It really is life-changing. And I'll show you how those things work in just a moment. So here are all of our ranks, starting from builder all the way down to crown ambassador. And you can see PET BV required. This is giving you the monthly total of the business volume that's required to get to and then maintain each of those ranks. And so if you take a look at, obviously, some of the numbers that were entered into the chat, just having 1 or 2 of those individuals that are working hard on their e-commerce platform is going to get you to many of these intermediate ranks. Hitesh, do you want to talk to this slide for a moment?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, you know what? John already covered really well all of the different pieces along the way. So I'm just going to focus more on the very last column because I really want to also then talk about the specifics of what happens on the customer side and why these are all tied together a little bit. So if you look at the very last column, the elevation achievement column, when you hit the director rank, you basically maintain the rank, and over the course of 2 months, that's that little 2 that you see in the brackets, you basically earn $10,000 over those 2 months. So basically you're getting an extra bonus of $10,000. And if you notice, that's only with the 30,000 points PET. 30,000 in business volume, I actually will show you guys the screenshot that I took when you guys were just telling me what the 2% of your sales was. That's all. If you just look at that, that already totals more than 30,000, just one little sheet. So that's a very, very easy time to hit. The idea was to try and reward people as they truly build their e-commerce business as well. We have a lot of people who in DSD got to $20,000, $30,000 a month in income and then said, why do I care? Why do I need to be a part of this anymore? And here you will want to be a part of it because not only do you get to earn these tremendous incomes as a partner, you also are contributing to the Springboard side of things, and you get into better deals over time too. Now, when you get to senior director, very straightforward. The same process applies. You now earn $20,000 in extra bonus, and then at executive director, something slightly odd starts happening. You basically have $50,000 that you earn over the course of 12 months, which is great, right? I mean, that alone is an awesome income. But that's the moment that the first type of retirement bonus kicks in, where basically it says, now, if I don't even maintain being an executive director, even if I take my foot off of the gas and I just relax for a while, you will still earn $10,000 a year for the next 2 years. Even if you don't maintain the rank of executive director anymore, even if you don't have 200,000 in PET volume anymore, you will still actually get to earn that over the next 2 years. And you see how it compounds over time. It starts adding up. At the next level, you earn 25,000 in the retirement alongside 150, then you earn 250, and then 40,000 per year. And these are all cumulative. What that means is you could actually be earning, you could still be on your $10,000 a year retirement while also beginning your 25,000 a year retirement, and then also beginning your 40,000 a year retirement. And there will be people like that because, I mean, one of the privileged positions that I get is I get to see the statistics of what kind of sales are being generated on both the affiliate side and on the customer side. And because now this represents a combination of the two, it's very easy for us to be able to say there will be a lot of people within the first year who will actually get up to that presidential director or ambassador rank within their first 12 months of running this business. Okay? And again, this is a business, okay? It's not a scheme. Typically when there's a scheme, they're like, oh, just recruit 7 on this side and 7 on that side, and you're going to make $10,000 a week or something ridiculous. No, what we're talking about is focus on building your e-commerce business, work with your team on building your e-commerce business at the same time, and you will naturally begin hitting these PET goals. Your actual aim here is very, very straightforward. Okay, therefore 2 people, and then work with them as a team building an e-commerce business, and that alone will snowball into many of these ranks. And as you keep going, eventually you can see at the global ambassador level, you're looking at $2.5 million in elevation bonus plus $250,000 a year for 10 years, which is better than about 99% of corporate retirement packages out there. And that was kind of the aim. The aim was to reward and provide an incentive to our partners because we foresee ourselves becoming a very, very strong force in the market. Okay, the numbers I was giving you guys earlier. I mean, we went into one store at one event with a small user base, with just a small number of our users, and that store literally did more in sales than the entire chain in all of the country. That's saying something. Okay, there's a very, very significant movement happening, and this is designed to incentivize, because we know if we incentivize it properly, it'll just go all over the place. So if you've ever been involved in any kind of network marketing company or MLM or whatever it is, the idea is to give you a rewards plan that is as strong or better, and this is better by far on every level. It pays more, it pays faster, it pays very fairly, but most importantly, it actually pays you on true retail activity, on true e-commerce activity, on marketplace activity, on digital product activity, which there is literally nothing out there that actually does that. And that's the whole concept. Move away from, let's recruit everybody and build this chain. And the idea is to actually focus instead on, let's build a team and build an e-commerce business at the same time. And that's how you get to these stages. So here's the action step from this entire comp plan. That's the beauty of it. You can look at all these columns, and you can look at these big numbers, and you get confused, or you get, kind of overwhelmed with $500,000 sitting there. Here's the simplicity of it. All you do is refer one on your left, one on your right, and build an e-commerce business with them. And that's it. If you just do that and help them replicate that process, you will automatically begin hitting many of these ranks. If you just repeated that simple strategy 4 times, you'll be a director. If you repeated that 7 times, you'll be an ambassador. And in many cases, you will not need to keep bringing in more people because your e-commerce business will keep growing. And as that keeps growing, your racks will keep increasing over time very easily. So, John, if you want to close up on this, then I would really want to talk a little bit about what happens at different parts of INFINii and how people participate in it.
Okay, you bet. Well, I'll just say in closing in regards to the rewards plan that leverage works incredibly effectively, and you will see people within INFINii build teams in the tens of thousands. And if you don't believe me, just wait a couple months because it's not going to take long. What we have here is very unique, and there are an awful lot of people in an awful lot of countries that are looking for help, and this is going to be one of the directions that people en masse take. So if you want to participate in the rewards plan in a big way, I don't blame you because a lot of people are going to be doing that. There'll be lots and lots of resources to make sure you get all the support you need.
Beautiful. And then we'll actually put all of this entire structure, this compensation plan and so on will be available to you guys. Those of you who actually understand this concept and understand this side of the business, you can grab it, you can run with it, and it'll be awesome, and you'll do great. Now let me talk a little bit more about just the customer side and what happens on the customer basis. Before I do that, if you can just say in the chat, who understood this comp plan and actually realizes how much more you're going to be making with this? Beautiful. So, John, you have been validated. A lot of people absolutely love it. And I say a lot, I mean hundreds of people. And then, of course, we got to keep clearing this up and making it easy to understand over time, too. But it looks like they don't really need that from what I'm reading in the comments. Anyways, let me talk about a couple of things on the product side and explain exactly what INFINii is and what INFINii offers. Okay, so let me first of all give you guys a kind of a sneak peek at what INFINii looks like. Okay, what the structure of it looks like, and what the back office looks like, and so on. So, if you can see my screen, this is a screenshot from the back office. Obviously, I can't show you guys the back office on this call because I know exactly what 900 of you 1,000 people are going to do. You're going to go to that URL and you're going to try every password combination you can think of to try and get in. And you will fail doing so. However, I would just much rather avoid that. So basically, INFINii has 3 products in it: Prime, Search, and Excel. Okay. Now here are some beautiful things about INFINii. First of all, it's very affordable given all that it offers. Okay, and we're going to walk over everything that it covers. But the first thing about this is these are not 3 separate products. Excel includes everything in Prime and Search. Search includes everything in Prime. So they are literally 3 levels. You don't need to own and maintain 5 or 6 different products to actually get all of the goodies in here. You actually just need one membership, and only choose the membership that actually provides you with the tools and the resources that you actually need. Okay? So right here, I'm actually on the training page for Prime. Okay, and the Prime membership basically covers, and these are monthly by the way, all 3 are. Prime essentially covers basic eBay training. Okay, it's not about going into as much in-depth as DST does because you really don't need to, quite honestly. It basically gives you the product that you want to list. It gives you a listing system that you want to list with, and you don't even need a lot of the tracking stuff. It doesn't include a tracking software and things like DST provides. There is no need for an overlap there. They're 2 very separate things. The eBay side allows you to find the products, list the products. We give you which products to list, and because we control those products, you don't really need a whole lot of tracking on them because we control the stock, we control the pricing on it, so you don't have to worry about it too much. At the same time, you also get to go over shopping profits with Amazon, which is the component of Genesis, which is called Genesis Easy, and that's what we do at our events. Okay, so at our event, what we did was a piece of Prime, which was go out, shop for profits, send the products into Amazon. In many cases, you're able to do that just with our marketplace products. You don't need to actually go out and find a whole bunch of products either. You can actually just do it primarily online if you so chose to do it as well. And then finally, we have all these other platforms, Bonanza, Shopify, and so on. We give you a few other platforms as well The idea is that you should be able to come in here, especially even if you're an international member, you should be able to come in here and start generating an income right away. One of the issues that many international people face currently is they come in, it takes them 90 days to really get on eBay, it takes them a while to really get on Amazon if they're ever able to do so. And yes, there are ways for them to get through it, but by and large, it's not a very straightforward process. So this is designed to really simplify the process for our members and bring them in here right away and get them going very, very quickly. Now, the trainings are very, very specific and very to the point, and the total training time here is less than 2 hours compared to the training time of about 10 to 11 hours that currently takes a DSD member. On the DSD side, you have all of the intricacies and all the details. On the INFINii side, you have all of the very quick action and just get going and start generating some profits. So these are not overlapping sides at all. They're actually very different sides of the same kind of business, but they appeal to two very different audiences, and it's designed for two very different audiences. Now, Surge, on the other hand, takes it to the next level. Surge actually gives you the insider analytics that we collect. It shows you what products are selling well. It shows you what products will be selling well in a month from now. So you can put those listings up early. It tells you what products you should be selling based on your current seller history. It tells you what products are actually your best profitable products, even though they're not selling necessarily as much, and how you can boost sales on that. And it also covers a bunch of traffic strategies for you to boost your income with current listings a whole lot more. Okay, and that's basically what Search does and what its role is in all of this. And then finally you have Excel, which covers a lot of things regarding FBA and bringing items in from overseas. It actually gives you all of the simplification in that process, and it gives you access to some automation for it as well, and it gives you access to dropship correctly on Amazon without having to worry about, am I skirting any rules and things like that. Again, if you want the in-depth training on all of these things, you would go to DSD, which is a product on INFINii Digital, by the way. So DSD is actually one of the products on INFINii Digital, which is a piece of INFINii as a whole. And that's what Excel does. Now, besides this, you see Springboard. And each level of INFINii Commerce gives you access to a different level in Springboard. So Springboard is basically our co-ops where we bring products in bulk, and you guys get to participate in that, and you guys get to choose which products you're going to work with, which products are going to be pushed really hard, and you guys essentially get to bypass a lot of the process of selling things on Amazon yourself, and you just get to enjoy the benefits of it overall. Why the co-ops are so awesome for us as a company is when the co-ops, when the products are sold on Amazon, that generates business volume, and it generates certain fees for us as well in the process. Obviously, I'm sure everybody will be happy to pay a slight fee on making that work, and that generates profit for the company, generates profits for every other member as well. So if you refer a user who joins the co-ops, who joins and is participating in the Springboard, as they generate sales on Amazon, as they make an income from Amazon, the affiliate, in this case, also earns some business volume, and it makes for a very, very beautiful ecosystem as a whole. And that's what, that's why Springboard is such an awesome flagship product of INFINii as a whole. So you have the co-ops, which are different for Prime, Surge, and Excel. On Prime side, you have co-ops that go anywhere from 50% to 100% profit margins. A product that is selling for $25, we're able to bring it in for about $7 to $8, and then including all the FBA fees, we'll sell it for $15 at the end of the day, and we generate a $10 profit on that. Okay, that's an example of a Prime product. On the Surge product, okay, that's for sale of each product sold on Amazon. So this is not put in $10 and make this much in return. This is put in $10 to get units of that product that you're going to sell on Amazon. Anybody who's selling on Amazon gets exactly what I'm saying. And when those items sell on Amazon, you get to collect that profit difference. So if you're an international seller, you can now do this without needing an Amazon account. You can do this without requiring a corporation in the US. You can do this without a lot of the process along the way. This is exactly the same as you partnering up with somebody in the US and saying, hey, you have the Amazon account, I'll do the research, I'll find the product, but we'll bring the product in together, we list it on your Amazon, and just give me a part of the profits. That's exactly what this process is. That's how it works. It's very, very straightforward for any Amazon seller on the call. Now, the Search products have higher profit margins. They have 100% to 300% profit margin range. Okay, but there's also a little bit more discretion on what products are included there. The idea is to choose products that are selling quickly or have significant volume as well, so that they'll sell quickly and they'll generate a very high sales velocity, or they'll basically sell quickly, and we'll be able to see the profits on our products coming, and we'll be able to see the profits on that fairly quickly. And then finally, on the Excel side, you have very quick selling products. We're looking for products that have a sales rank of less than 10,000, less than 12,000, in that range. As you can imagine, those products are really moving fast. We're looking for branded products instead of generic products, right? So instead of trying to sell, let's say, a random printer, we're going to be trying to actually make a deal with HP and bring in an HP computer or an HP laptop or an HP printer to sell specifically on Amazon. So you can imagine why the sales potential for the Excel products is so much higher. So very low sales rank and very good margins. That's what we're looking for on our Excel products. Now, in addition to that, you have different level of participation available at these co-ops. So let's say that you participate in the Springboard co-op and you're a prime user. As a prime user, you get 5 seats. Okay, a seat is very straightforward. Let's imagine a product. Okay, we'll take an example. Let's take a pair of shoes. Okay, so we have a pair of shoes. That was a horrible shoe. Okay, so we have a pair of shoe, and this pair of shoes, let's say, sells on Amazon for $100, and we are able to bring that product in for $30. That'll be our cost from our negotiation with the manufacturer. After all the fees and the FP and this and that, after all of that is said and done, it would sell for somewhere around $58 is, let's say, the net costs to us in this process. So we are left with a profit margin in this case of $42, right? So that's our profit margin. Let's highlight that. That's our profit margin in this particular scenario. Now, what we need to do, the manufacturer says to us, hey, you have to buy 100 pair of these shoes in one shot if you want to get that price, if you want to get the $30 price. So when you log into your back office, it says there are 100 units. Okay, so we have to buy 100 units of this, and we are selling this. We have, let's say, 10 seats available. Okay, 1 seat equals 10 shoes, and therefore 1 seat equals $1,000. On the other hand, we'll have some products where 1 seat costs $5 or 1 seat costs $12 or whatever. It just depends on what is the product, how much is the minimum order quantity, and how many people do we need participating in that to bring the cost down. If any of you have ever participated in a food co-op where you go to a local farmer and you say, hey, we'll buy, our neighborhood is going to buy 1,000 carrots from you, and then we just distribute amongst ourselves, and you get a better price for doing so. This is kind of the same. There are a lot of organic food co-ops, for example. This is the same idea over here. Okay, if we were to take another example, let's say the order quantity was only 10, then we would have 10 seats. In this case, 1 seat would be 1 pair of shoes, and each shoe would be $100 instead. Each seat would be $100. So as a Prime member, you have 5 seats available. You can participate in 5 seats at a given time. Once you purchase a seat, and then the product comes in, the product sells on Amazon, and once it's sold, your seat is basically opened up again, and now you can use it for something else. The reason we do this is because we don't want the entire existence of INFINii to be about people just participating in co-ops all the time. We have to scale that up gradually. We have to do that in a much more relaxed manner, in a realistic manner, and we have to make sure that we have sufficient products and sufficient manufacturers to be able to support a very large number of users at the same time. It goes with it. So let's talk about the rollout. Okay, what's going to happen? How is this going to be put out there? And how are we going to build this thing? Okay, and I'll come to this image. Remind me about this image of golden people staring at each other and praising and singing songs to each other. We'll come to this in a second. Here's how the rollout is going. I'm going to pause my screen for just a second so I can grab this image. Because once again, I hesitate knowing the techie people we have on this call to show the real back office. So this is actually a screenshot from the back office itself. It is essentially showing you your tree. Okay, you're looking at the binary tree, and you can see, you know, who is down below in your downline and what are the next free positions available. So you can see that in this particular case, I have some free positions that I clicked on, and I can see it says send an invitation. So what you will do is when you log into your INFINii back office, you're going to look at your downline. You'll be able to click on every free position, and you'll be able to send an invitation to someone. For the first 20 days of INFINii, it is only going to be invitation-based. There will be no affiliate links. There will be no way to promote it with affiliate links, because we want to give everybody the chance to actually share it with their immediate downline and with their immediate friends or family in a very non-threatening, in a very wonderful non-online marketing way. Okay, so you'll be able to basically send out invitations, structure everything out as you need to. Those of you who are affiliates, and especially those of you who have been in network marketing companies, understand already why this is so critical and why this might be one of the best things possible, because it allows you complete control over the structure of your organization, which, given the rewards plan now, is very, very strong and very, very important in some cases, and could be, you know, the big factor in how much you're able to generate in your sales very quickly. So you basically click on that. You click on send invitation. It's going to ask you for the name, email, and basic information of the person you want to send the invitation to. They will receive the invitation. You will also receive the invitation code. They will now be able to join INFINii with that invitation code. All of you on this call will receive similar invitation codes from your current upline in DSD or from higher up in DSD, basically depending on where you are in the entire structure. And at the end of the 20-day period, everybody who is left will receive invitation codes from DSD as well. Okay, so you will all get a chance to get in here before the general public gets to go in. You will all get to go in there and look at the co-op products. You all get to decide what you want to do. You kind of get to give us your feedback during the same process, and you will get to send out invitations of your own to everybody as well. Okay, this is just a number from the pressure test that I was running, so you can see we were testing out to make sure it actually worked properly. So here is how this is going to go on the November 10th, okay, November 9th midnight basically, but November 10th the invitation only phase will begin, and the invitation only phase will last all the way to November 30th midnight. Okay, 1st December everyone will now have active affiliate links, okay, or active partner links is as we call it in INFINii, and you'll be able to promote it like you promote your DSP products or any other product that you have wanted to promote. Same as DSD, there is a separate $9.95 a month cost for being an affiliate, and the reason is very straightforward. I've given this reason since the day we started DSD. I've said over and over, this is a legal distinction between who is a customer and who is an affiliate. And you guys, if you've paid attention, you've seen some companies out there get in trouble for not doing this. You want a distinction between who is your customer, who is your affiliate. By the way, I'm really, really happy to explain this to you guys. Greater than 76% of our current users are purely customers. Okay? These are people who have never even joined as an affiliate. Not people who joined as affiliate and failed, but people who have never, ever even joined as an affiliate. Okay? So that is an incredible ratio. Most companies are somewhere like 30% of the user base is customers and everybody else is an affiliate, because they're all in there to try and sell the dream to each other. And that's not the case with us. That's not what we're doing. We have a very legitimate system, and that's why we want to keep it that way. So $9.95 is per month is the cost for being an affiliate. This is an introductory cost. We are in discussion that might actually go up down the road in the future. But for now, we're going to keep it at that because everybody in DST is used to it, and it'll stay there. Now, I just want to talk about one very simple concept very, very quickly. Is everybody clear about this, about the November 9th to November 30th breakdown? And this gives you guys the time to actually build this out and take your time with everything? Beautiful. Everybody's clear. And you guys will be able to join at whichever level appeals to you. Okay, Prime, Surge, or Excel. You will get to choose which level you want to be on. There is, we're not going to force you either way. It's entirely up to you. Most of what will be in the product side will be available immediately. There will be a few final things like some extra co-ops and some extra things that will be active on December 1st. Okay, but most of you will be getting in because this is an exponential growth phase. So a lot of our members will actually be activating their account somewhere between the 20th and the 30th anyway. So most of you will see everything available pretty quickly. Now let me just talk about one very simple concept. This right here, to me, is the image that comes to mind when I think of an MLM. Okay. Here is what I find very interesting about this. These people are sitting in a closed loop. All of them have only one way of making money, which is from somebody else in this group right here. So all of these guys are really targeting each other to try and get the money from each other. That is the harsh reality. Okay, that's probably a little harsher way to put it than usual, but
maybe that's why I had some. You were trying to understand why I had so much success, Nitesh. I took a slightly different approach, so perhaps that's why I had success.
Exactly. And that's what I was getting at too, that almost nobody in a typical MLM ever succeeds following the typical MLM model. They succeed because they use a model outside of it. Okay, so what's happening here is, and I said this at the event, 90% of these guys are basically losing money and 10% of them are gaining money. And the companies or other promoters hold these 10% up as the example and say, see how well you can do in MLM, and they kind of try to, put the other 90% under the carpet. Here's how the only way in which this model works is if you actually bring in the real world as well. And this group now can work together, but their sales need to be made to the crowd out there. This is where the money should be coming in from, not from each other. So all of your money should really be traveling from the outside world into this closed group. So when we talk about INFINii, we're talking about the INFINii platform selling products on Amazon and eBay and in the INFINii marketplace to the real world customers. And when those real world customers purchase the products that we bring in as a group or as a group that we list on eBay and so on, that's when the real income is generated. So the reason why, when John said everybody was so eager to help each other, everybody wants to work with each other, one of the reasons is you guys are not competing against each other. You're not looking to make money from each other. You're looking to get better results by building a business together and appealing to the world out there. And that's one of the big reasons why we're so eager to scale up this model, to build this model up stronger, and to try and preserve what we have here. So as before, okay, I'm just going to go over these very quick things. Don't go out there promising things that are not real, even though this is the best thing in the world out there right now. I'm pretty sure of it. You don't go out there promising the world. You don't go out there telling people, hey, get in, you're going to make a bunch of money in your first month or anything like that. It's true that a very significant number of our users do that, and they make money without recruiting in their first month. Many of you do it in the first day. But that is not something that we should be going out there marketing as and promising as, because it really starts to make us look like those companies. Also, during this invitation-only phase, I hope you will all basically respect this, and we have ways to track this down, but I would rather do it in gentleness than force. When you send out invitations to your immediate downline. That is people on your level 1 in your current DSD structure. Don't go to other people who are in somebody else's downline. Don't go to other members and say, hey, you want to move under me or whatever. Don't do that. And this is already restricted because you're only given 6 invitation codes until those are used up. So you won't be able to spam people anyway, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up that you shouldn't do so. Either way, if you have the ability to do, you still should do so. And now come the final action steps. We're going to be running this in such a unique fashion. This is such an important, unique growth online in what we've been able to accomplish and what we're going to accomplish here down the road. So we really want to preserve that. We really want to hammer that home. And to that end, we've set up our official INFINii websites and official INFINii Facebook groups, official INFINii YouTube channel, and so on. INFINii is a trademark. Okay, as you've seen, I almost always type it like that. This is a trademark. You guys should not be using any domain names that have INFINii in it. You should not be using YouTube channels with that in it. You should not be using Facebook groups with that in it. So keep that in mind as you go forward. All right, guys. Well, there's a couple of things I just want to point out. First of all, I don't think many of you realize what an awesome thing it is that we have Ken Eggleston here. He is a guy who's done comp plans for multiple companies, works with owners of companies. He's been, a massive earner and all that stuff. But he is, a former law enforcement guy, is very, very stern about his criteria for what is good and what is not. And the fact that he's out here and actually telling you guys this is good is actually kind of a big deal. And I don't know if you caught the fact that he mentioned, and you guys will see this in the event videos when you put them up, which any of you who have a ticket, whether you were at the event or not, doesn't matter. You will still get the access to all of the videos as long as you have the event tickets. You'll get to see, we actually had Kevin Thompson, who I think most of you should know. Who here knows who Kevin Thompson is? There you go. All right. So a ton of people know it. He's probably the best known attorney in the field. Ashley was at the event. Ashley went to the stage and said very clearly, INFINii is the first company and the only company that he's ever endorsed, that he supports, because he has actually seen the statistics inside. I'm going to tell you guys a very interesting conversation because I also handle a lot of the legal stuff, or at least used to. Now we're trying to transition out of that, but I used to handle a lot of the legal stuff for DSD as well. So the first time we had a meeting with Kevin, it was over the phone, and he was asking for the statistics of what our members were doing and how much of our customer base was pure customer and all of these things. And so I was giving him the statistics, and I was like, well, our customers make, this many million a month, and our affiliates only do this much. And he was like, no, that's impossible. He got angry with me, okay? I'm serious, and he will tell you the story, hopefully, at the next event or something. But he actually got angry with me. He was like, you are just trying to BS me. That is impossible. Those kind of numbers don't happen in network marketing. And it actually took him, he came to our last event, and he spoke with a ton of people in the audience before he actually realized that our statistics are real. So this event, he was super excited, and he so wants this to succeed because that's exactly what he said. This is the benchmark for what is real. This is a benchmark for something that's actually helping the users. It's something that's working for the average, ordinary person out there. It's incredible. And I've said this before. I've had some very difficult challenges recently in life with my son's health especially. And the last 2 days have been very discouraging in that regard, actually. And one of the things that helps me get through it is really our members. It's all of you guys. It really is tremendous. I don't talk about it publicly a whole lot. I don't really care to. But I meet people at these events where I'm like, yeah, this is worth it. It's worth doing this. And I'm not going to go into all the soppy stories necessarily, because I think a lot of that you need to internalize and just appreciate. I think talking about it too much just kind of cheapens it. So I won't talk about it too much. But when Kevin was saying, I actually do say this is actually very, very true, that we get all these messages of you have changed our life, and I have a hard time because I feel like our lives have been impacted a lot more through this than we have impacted your lives. And I think it might be the scale of what we get to see. It might be the fact that we get to see a lot of people in incredible situations, overcoming those situations. I don't know exactly how to really phrase it, but it has been the most gratifying and fulfilling thing to do this. And we are just looking forward to making this the biggest thing out there. And it's the pure motivation that is not just, oh, look at how much money that will generate, but it's also look at the concept, look at what we can actually put out there, look at what our members have done and what they will do and what this will become over the next year and 5 years and a decade and so on and so forth. I mean, there are so many pieces of INFINii that, guys, we're not touching yet, that we haven't even mentioned yet. And we don't need to yet because we have a clear pathway on what we need to do right now. But I'm very excited about where we're headed and what we're going to accomplish over the next few days. So anyways, that is that. I think everybody gets it. Here's what you should be doing. and by the way, all the people asking about the next event, we don't have a fixed time for the next event yet. We will let you guys know when we have one. Every event there is so much stress, and we are always like, oh man, we shouldn't do this event. Then the event happens, and we meet all of our members there, and it's like we need to do an event every day almost. It's kind of nuts. But we let you guys know when we decide on that. Here is what I want to just hammer home before getting too emotional. I kind of need to get going. Everybody else needs to get going too. So here are the action steps for you guys. First of all, if you haven't yet, really take a look at the Shopify training course. Pay attention to it. Try and see if that fits into your business model at all. My personal read on that, my personal recommendation is the Shopify part of that is okay. I mean, it's great if you're doing Shopify, but the real core part of that is the strategy and the traffic system. That's the part you really want to master. You can use that with Bonanza. You can use that with your current stores. You can use that with your own websites. Whatever you want to do with it, you can. But that is the core part that you really want to pay attention to. We'll be sending out a video for it so you guys can actually see what's inside it and understand how it works, and hopefully you can make a valid, thought-out decision on it. Get ready. Start thinking who is going to be my core team, who are the people I'm going to work with as we roll out INFINii, who are the people that I'm going to invite, and who are the people I'm going to work with. Try and make sure that you're only keeping that to your immediate downline DSD or to non-DSD members. You can invite anybody who is not in DSD already. That's perfectly fine. You can also invite somebody who is in DSD, but they should be only on your level 1. Okay? Make sure that you do that. And just start thinking, start evaluating, start setting up some goals. And we're going to do another training. There's a training that Ken Eggleston did from the stage after the event, which was about trying to set goals, about how do you set goals. It's a mathematical thing that you fill out and you decide what your goal set should be going forward and how you're going to accomplish that. So we'll do that at some point with you as well. All in all, we are just all absolutely excited about where we're headed. I can tell all of you are very excited about where we're headed based on what I'm seeing in the chat. And we just really look forward to seeing all of your success grow 1,000-fold over. So that's a good night and exciting good night from my side. And guys, if you want to say your good nights, we can let everybody go to bed. But I don't think most of these guys will be sleeping. But as is a courtesy.
I'll tell you what, I'll see you guys in your email inbox. We're going to get this recording up and edit it a little bit and then out to you guys ASAP. There'll be a link in your back office. That Shopify course too, it's going to change a little bit to where you're going to see more on what's in there in the form of a video breaking it down. It's pretty impressive. So just keep an eye on that too and try to get some sleep tonight, I guess. I guess I would say that. I don't know if I'll be able to. This is crazy. So, good night, everybody.